Today we are going to take lecture number 4, and as you are aware that it is week number 9 and the course name is Guidance and Counseling. Today we are going to take a very important topic, the role and responsibilities of the teacher in guidance program. The role of and responsibilities of the teacher are very important in implementation of the guidance and counseling program because teachers are directly associated with the students. So what we are going to discuss in this lecture, first of all we will introduce the topic, then we will understand the role and responsibilities in reference to the students and in regard to the parents, in regard to the guidance and counseling program, and other uh, cooperation with the university, then we will finally conclude our lecture. Let us understand the role and responsibilities of the teacher in guidance and counseling program. The role of the teacher is complex one. As we say, the teacher is the backbone of the society. He is the torch bearer. When we are saying he is the torch bearer, it means he has a positive role in assisting and guiding the students. Instruction definitely is the teacher's major function, or to teach the students. But to teach the level of satisfaction of the student is the requirement. The teacher assists the students in solving their academic problems, because if he or she is solving the problems of the students, then he is shifting his role from instructor to the guidance and counselor. The role of the teacher starts engaging students in classroom with the instruction and leads towards various responsibilities which come under the purview of the guidance role. If the teacher is providing assistance in personal problem of the student, he is enhancing the social engagement of the student. He or she is motivating the student, providing the reinforcement, and evaluating his progress on regular basis. Then his role is basically shifting towards the guidance and counseling. There are individuals who take the position that all the teachers are capable of carrying on all guidance services without benefit of specialized training. There are two views. One view is that, which is the oldest view, that the teachers are capable of providing the counseling, or there is no need of specialized training for the teachers because they constantly interact with the student, and on the basis of their behavior observation and on the basis of long experience and education, they are in a position to identify the true personality of the student, and they will be able to give the guidance. But there are other educationists who do not consider it that they are professional. There is no professional training needed for the counselor, needed for the teachers. Uh, and this view is basically accepted in present day society. The role of the teacher is different. The role of the counselor is also different. More specialized aspects are needed in the counseling rather than in the guidance. As guidance is the generic term, as far as the simple guidance is concerned, definitely the role of the teacher is the key. But when the students are suffering mental health issues and they are seriously involved in any problem which is related to the personal life and the family life, in such a situation, the teacher feels incompetent or incapable to provide the guidance and counseling to the student, and he or she should not uh, cross his or her boundaries and enter in the field of the guidance and counseling. This is basically the principle. Some people say that good teaching has emotional, moral, and intellectual objectives. Yes, good teaching has emotional, moral, and intellectual objectives. But understanding the personality of the students and understanding the complications of the guidance and counseling process, particularly, the teacher are not supposed to be the competent. It aims to at the growth of the whole person as well as mastery of the whole subject in his hand. Are some of the characteristic features of the teachers. Some ways in which teachers may create wholesome guidance or activities for the students include independent work. They can guide the student to engage in independent work. They can motivate them. They can ask them for better planning. Recognizing individual differences, they are in a position to identify the characteristic features of the student. They are helping children to learn themselves. They are presenting challenging material, and they are providing opportunities for social and emotional growth for the student, developing effective parent-teacher relationship. These are basically the aspects on the basis of which we can say that to certain extents, teachers play a very significant role in assisting the guidance and counseling services. Previously, the tasks, if we think about the historical perspective, that the teachers were supposed to provide instruction as well as guidance and counseling. Any person or still in present circumstances, all students approach to the teacher for their guidance in academic and in many times in personal life. So we need to understand what is expected from the teachers and how the role of the teacher and responsibilities of the teacher are automatically assisting the guidance and counseling team. And to certain extent we can say that teachers are also playing a big role in providing guidance to the students. How this role and responsibilities is performed: number one, identification of the students' potentials and the needs, understanding and developing the students and career educator by playing the role of the career educator, or by providing effective teaching, promoting positive and inclusive learning environment, enhancing teaching practice, and providing academic support, dissemination of occupational information, perform group guidance services, extended support to parents, extend support to guidance program, providing initial guidance and support, facilitating access to formal counseling, providing initial guidance and support and communication, then counseling and making student referrals, and finally we will conclude our lectures. I have read out these topics. There is a repetition in one of the aspects, so ignore that repetition. Identification of students' potential and the needs. Teachers spend a significant amount of time with students and are often the first to notice academic, social, or emotional difficulties expressed by the individual, because they are in direct contact for many hours on regular basis. They can identify students who may be struggling with learning, experiencing behavioral issues, or facing personal challenges. By observing students' behavior, academic performance, and interactions, teachers can recognize early signs of potential problems. Sometimes some problems are of very simple nature, where the teacher considers a simple guidance is enough to resolve that issue. If the nature of the problem is complicated, then the teacher has to think about that for counseling purposes. The teacher can conduct various tests in order to know their interest, attitudes, aptitudes, behavior patterns, goals, values, aspiration level, self-concept, and socio-economic status of the family. Teacher can support guidance and counseling, and their role to become an effective teacher is also to understand the needs of the student. So identification of the student's potential and their need is highly important. The teacher can also know the type of relationship students enjoy with each other regarding cooperation, coordination, during among group members. So sociometric techniques can be utilized for this purpose because this technique gives the idea what kind of group dynamics present in the classroom, what type of cooperation, coordination, repulsion, or competition is available in the society, available in the classroom. Understanding and developing the student. After analyzing the characteristic features and the needs of the student, the second important aspect is basically to understand. Teachers does not only knows the student, rather he understands the students. If understanding is developed, then the teacher can take some measures to develop the students or to remove this difficulty. Wise teachers are considered those who have the ability to understand true personality of student through maintaining good rapport with them by creating an environment of psychological safety and security. There are many facets of the individual personality, that is emotional, social, intellectual, and spiritual. Understanding the student's socio-cultural, familial, religious, and regional backgrounds are also crucial in exercising their influence on a student's behavior and life goals. The proper understanding of the student is possible if we are understanding the characteristic features of the students in relation to their various personality component and in relation to their cultural, socio-cultural and economic background of the society and the family. Third task is career educator. Teacher is supposed to be the career educator, and the best teacher perform these tasks also in the classroom. The teacher acts as a career educator by developing among students knowledge and understanding of themselves in relation to the job scenario and take appropriate decisions about the career. It is the responsibility, supposed to be the responsibility of the teacher to explain the relationship of his or her subject with the career. Teachers can also help students develop essential skills for the workplace, such as communication, problem solving, and teamwork. He or she should be well aware that these skills, which are supposed to be the life skills, collaborative skills, communication skills, cultural competency is skill, and problem solving is skill, and creativity is skill, social skills, these skills are highly important in making adjustment of the students in the society satisfactory and developing his self concept in a better manner and providing moral boosting as well as confidence among the student, so that because these are the skills which will be implemented in the later stages of their life and the job opportunities. Teachers can provide students with information about different career options and educational pathways. These are also sometimes the responsibilities of the teachers. They can help students explore their interests, abilities, and connect them with relevant resources and opportunities. Teachers can are generally guide to their student to uh, to go to the various resources which can be helpful to identify their interests and abilities when providing effective teaching. This is the most important task of the teacher. The prime responsibility of the teacher is to teach the student in an effective manner. This is the prime responsibility. Classroom experiences are of great value for the student. If the teacher prepares well and makes his or her presentation interesting, motivating, challenging, and inspires the student to actively participate in teaching learning process. If the teacher is planning well and presenting the material in a systematic manner, keeping in view the need and the requirement of the students and motivating the student, then many of the academic problems of the students are automatically solved. The effective teaching has an impact on emotional and social and other aspects of the individual. Effective teachers are able to understand the learning difficulties experienced by the student in the classroom because they allow the student to interact in the learning process, which gives the idea to them okay, what kind of the problem students are facing. In this way, the teacher helps the student in solving their major problems related to the field of education, like reducing academic anxiety, providing social adjustment, and eliminating fear of evaluation. The teacher is counseling to the student, no need to be fearful for the examinations. Be calm and composed. This simple session of 5 minutes or the 10 minutes is enough for the student to get out or to lower their anxiety related to the examination. So effective teaching has its implications and it is related to the guidance and counseling also, promoting positive and inclusive learning environment. Teachers can create a classroom environment where students feel safe, respected, and supported. Democratic environment is needed. Everybody is getting the respect. Opportunities of interactions are given. So it includes promoting empathy, understanding, and acceptance of the individual differences. Classroom is a bunch of flowers. Bunch of flowers. Students having the different abilities and the capabilities, and they are sitting in the same classroom. Teachers can foster a sense of belonging and encourage positive peer relationship. A responsibility of the teacher is not confined to the teaching. Rather, he has to create an environment where every individual is getting the respect and individual is considering it is my right to receive education and others are also having the same right. Enhancing teaching practices. Teachers are encouraged to continuously reflect on their teaching practices and seek ways to improve. Reflection on their teaching practices when the teachers are teaching to the classes on everyday basis, they experience certain difficulties faced by the students and they immediately provide guidance in that regard that is related to the educational guidance. Some concepts are not being clear to the student and some because of some poor educational background knowledge of the student or because of the family issues faced by the student. So these aspects, if taken by the teacher and some amount of guidance is provided, then the problem is automatically solved by enhancing teaching practices. This may involve attending professional development workshop, collaborating with colleagues, or seeking feedback from students and mentors. Teachers should also enhance their professional standard. They should not confine that their role is just to teach. Rather, they need to understand the students in its totality, its relationship with other aspects or other factors, which include society, family, and peer group, and as well as the total digital environment to which students are exposed in this digitally driven world, providing academic support. This includes providing individualized help to students who are falling behind, offering challenging work for those who are excelling, and ensuring that all students have access to resources they need to succeed. Two broad categories are there. Some students may be the poor achievers and others may be the gifted or overachievers or having best achievement. So we have to encourage to both kinds of the categories of the student. We have to give equal emphasis to the slow learners by providing remedial measures for them and giving extra support to them, and similarly for gifted and the talented students who are in need of more resources to fulfill their intellectual curiosity and some kind of enhancement, academic enhancement or enrichment facilities need to be provided. Dissemination of occupational information. It is very important on the part of the teacher because he is constantly interacting with the students Occupational information, what is occupational information means? It is an information which is related to any particular occupation or profession. It is significant in guidance and counseling program. Students being less mature do not show keen desire to get occupational information by their own efforts. The teacher being the leader of educational program should also demonstrate willingness and skills in providing occupational information to the students. The teacher may devise different impressive techniques to share reliable and pertinent occupational information. Teacher being aware about the interest and inclination of the student is in a better position to present and interpret the information for its best possible use. Presenting the occupational information is not going to solve the problem, rather interpreting the occupational information so that students are able to understand the utility and they can correlate with their interests for making informed decisions. Teachers can integrate occupational and educational information into their respective subject. They should integrate their subject and teach their subject in a broader perspective, not only to pass on the knowledge, but utility of that subject in the job market and associated vocational and other areas related to that. The teacher should relate classroom activities to the world of work, which is essential for career planning. Perform group guidance services. The teacher performs various group guidance services for assisting the students in many areas. How to manage the time, how to write in the examination, how to listen carefully, how to prepare the notes. These are some of the activities which are related to the academic tasks which the teacher can perform by organizing the group guidance services. He encourages them to develop study skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills, time management skills, and self-assessment skills. And almost all the teachers, I generally tell to my student, okay, don't be a bookworm, and you must have a holistic development of the personality. Skills are also very important. They give you the authority to talk to the people, interact with the people, understand the people, and make a genuine conversation with them and leave an impression of your personality to them, because extrovertness is also very important in present day life. Teacher participate in child study groups and other workshop in which he or she gains insight and understanding of the behavior needs of the students. Teacher can elaborate any particular occupation related to his or her subject before the student, covering each and every aspect of it for developing insight among students. What type of education will be required? What type of work will be expected? What will be the working conditions? What are the facilities available for the promotion or opportunities available for the promotion? These are very important. Teacher can encourage student to utilize counseling services available in the student. In order to enhance awareness, teacher can play a very important role in making aware to the student that these services are meant for your benefit and your progress, and you should or you must avail the facilities available in the university and the schools. The teacher collects a number of information. Extended support to parents. The teacher collects a number of information about the child related to the academic and other aspects while interacting the child in the schools. He or she can share this information with the parents and help them to increase their understanding of the child's needs. In this way, the teacher performs the guidance responsibility by extending the help to the parent. There is a provision of the parent-teacher meeting in almost all the schools, and teachers play a very active role in participating that parent-teacher meeting, and they have the information related to the students. And many parents ask about the progress of their student. Then he or she is in a position to tell to their parents about the characteristic features of the student, so that they also feel enlightened and knowledgeable and make better understanding of their children and provide needed support in that regard. So support to the parent, support teacher, also support to the parent. Extended support to the guidance program. The teacher cooperates with the school administrator and counselor in carrying out those policies which are considered essential to the proper development of the guidance services. Teacher extend full support to all activities of the guidance program conducted in the school and also encourages students to actively participate in guidance program. Without the support of the teacher, the task of the implementing the guidance and counseling program cannot succeed or cannot provide its true results. Support of the teacher is very important. There must be a coordination between the guidance team and all the teachers of that institution, and support every program conducted by the guidance counselor must seek cooperation of the students. Providing initial guidance support. Teachers can offer basic guidance support to the student who are facing academic or personal challenges. And these support can be identified on the basis of the effective teaching. When the teachers are teaching with full efficiency, many students definitely face difficulty, and these aspects can be taken at initial stages before developing to any complicated situation which may not be tackled by the teacher or the counseling team. So this may involve helping students develop study skills, providing clarification on course material, or offering a listening ear. Many aspects, how to manage your time and how to appear in the examination. Many problems are there associated to the individual, where initial guidance and support is provided by the teacher. They can also help students navigate the school environment, understand rules and regulations, to make informed decisions and about their academic paths. The next responsibility is facilitating access to formal counseling. Teachers can play a key role in connecting students with professional counselors or other support services when needed. They can explain the benefits of the counseling and encourage students to seek the assistance. Teachers can also work with counselors to provide a supportive environment for students receiving counseling services. So encouragement, motivation of the teacher is very important. It facilitates the access of the students to the formal counseling session. Initial task is basically done by the teacher, and for better result, the formal counseling sessions or formal group counseling session, guidance counseling session can be conducted. Communication. Communication is also very important, because effective communication with the students, parents, and other school staff is essential for successful guidance and support. Teachers need to be able to clearly communicate expectations, provide feedback, and address concerns. So, effective communication of all the teaching staffs and the counselors and the administrators and the student is the requirement for implementation of the program, and the teacher basically assisting and performing this role and responsibilities in an effective manner, or he can do this job in a better manner, because teachers are constantly interacting with all the students. If information has to be passed to the students, then the teachers are supposed to be the best person to communicate that information. Counseling. Teachers can provide basic counseling support to students who are facing challenges. This may involve active listening, providing encouragement, and helping students develop coping mechanisms. Here we need to understand that teachers are not supposed to provide the professional counseling, but they can take simple steps in the counseling process. They can listen to the problems of the student. They can provide an to the student, and they can help the student to develop the coping mechanism. And the fifth number is making student reference. Although teachers has a great role to play in guidance program, but he or she should not be also be well aware about the fact that there are limitations which are associated to the teachers. So limitations must be known to the teacher, and the teacher must be careful to should not consider himself or herself parallel to the role of the counselor. The role of the teacher is better at initial stages, and at later stages, the task will be handled by the teachers. The teachers may identify various problem areas of the student and may act as a referral agents to pass on the problems to the counselor for professional advice. The basic aspects can be taken by the teachers, and for professional advice, definitely there is a more professionalized agency available, that is the guidance and counseling team. So let us conclude our lecture. In essence, teachers are vital members of the guidance and counseling team. Their close relationship with the students, combined with their understanding of the school environment and curriculum, make them essential in identifying and supporting students' needs, facilitating access to formal counseling, and promoting a positive and inclusive learning environment. Although it is considered that counselors are supposed to provide the counseling, but the active involvement of the teacher is highly essential. The teacher performs a number of activities in the institution. He is teaching in the classroom, organizing co-curricular activities and cultural program, and experiencing the students' behavior in many sports situations, in many competitive examination, in many functions being organized in the institutions. He is also, or she is also, interacting with the parents and seeking many peculiar characteristic features from the parent. So he is basically a significant component in the guidance and counseling program. We need to understand this fact also, that coordination and cooperation of the counselor and the teacher is highly essential. Neither the counselor can single-handedly conduct the program, nor the teacher single-handedly can do justice with the counseling program or the guidance and counseling program. When I am using the guidance and counseling word, as I told you the difference between these two aspects, we need to consider that sometimes we are giving guidance to the student, and in later stages, if the problem is complicated, then we are engaging the student in the counseling session. So students, with this we have completed our lecture. Uh, Thanks for your patience listening, and God bless you all.